So you want to play Formula One fantasy this season? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to the Pitwall, your stop for your fantasy Formula One needs. Like and subscribe to this video and this channel if you want to be up to date on all of our trackings this season of fantasy Formula One. To begin with starting your fantasy Formula One team, let me walk you through it. First things first, you're going to want to go to fantasyformula1.com, fantasy.formula1.com. I'll put the link in the description below. You're going to be prompted to make an account, and then you can make up to 1 to 3 teams. As you can see here, I have one already made, but I'm going to walk you through the basics of making your very own teams. You'll hit Create Team. First thing you're going to want to know is the structure. There is a team consisting of 5 drivers and 1 constructor. And you have a $100 million budget to make your team. If you're going to pick your team with that budget in mind, you're going to want to do research on the drivers. Well, look at that. There is a list of all the drivers, their costs, and when you click on them, you can get stats from 2021, 2020, 2019, and you could even go to the various races to see how they performed. And so in another video, we will go over the Bahrain Grand Prix and see how people performed and what the numbers are. Prices of the drivers are going to go either up or down as the season progresses. So don't worry if you may not be able to afford a driver now. There is a potential you could afford him in the future if your team performs well enough. And even over the course of the weekend, there's dynamic pricing. You have to remember your team gets locked into place as soon as qualifying starts. So it might be easier or better for you to pick up drivers or constructors before everyone sees that they're going to be a hot commodity that week. And sometimes drivers will go up or down in price, and then you'll be able to afford them the next week. Sentiment bars show you how well the community thinks that their price is going to go up and down, and then you can see your total value, and then you get your remaining budget. This strategy we'll go at in another video more in depth. That won't impact you if you're starting your very first team. Now to subbanks. When you're making your team, you can make as many adjustments as you want, but once you've picked your team and the first race of the season starts, you can only make 3 substitutions per week. No worries, you can change out drivers as you would like, and even twice a season you'll be able to use a wild card, which allows you to just change your team completely. But back to picking a team. Let's just pick Hamilton, and you add your first driver. Then you want to probably pick a constructor so that you know how much money you have left. It's going to be very hard to afford both Mercedes and Hamilton, so for this example, we'll go with Red Bull. Now, as you can see, the bar is now going up. I have 4 spots left to fit, and like I said in another video, we'll go in depth about the strategy. Just showing you the basics. Let's go with Daniel Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel, and we have 7.1 million left. Look at that. We're not going to be able to afford all these beautiful people, so let's get rid of Ricardo. We're going to add Russell, and then we will pick up Raikkonen, and 8.6 left. So we can pick up Antonio Giovinazzi. We're going all in on Alfa Romeo for this team. When you hit next, it will allow you to select your turbo driver. Before we get to that, let's overview how scoring works. There are 2 stages for scoring for your team. The first is when you are doing qualifying, and the second is when you are doing the actual race. And then you get position bonuses based on how they finish and then how they do during the race. You'll gain points by gaining positions, or you can lose points by losing positions. Also, you get bonuses based off of how your teammates will compete versus each other. So you want to make sure you're picking not only a driver that you think will score well, but one that will get the bonuses. And if you get enough bonus points, you will build up a streak, and we'll talk about that in the future. Right now, it's the first race. There's no streaks to be had. So back to our team. You're going to want to pick a driver to turbo. You get a turbo every single week, somebody that you can get double points, both positive or negative. So make sure they're not someone who's going to lose you points or DNF. In this case, they have to earn under, or their cost has to be under $20 million. So of these options right here, we're going to go with Sebastian Vettel. And then you've created your team. And then you can join a league with your team. There's all these beautiful leagues around. You're going to automatically be added to the global league. And then your country, your favorite team of the 10 that you can pick, and then any league that you either make or join. In this case, if you would like to join the Pitwall, you can follow along, build your team, you can learn, you can submit up to 3, try out things, and our league code will be in the description below. You can also follow the Pitwall on Twitter to be able to keep up to date about that. And that's it. You've made your very first Formula One fantasy team. If you would like a detailed description and strategy guide for the first race of the season, there will be a video that you can follow along right here on the Pitwall. So like, subscribe, and until next time, we'll see you on the Pitwall.